To the committee, thank you for joining the parade committee. You'll see that we're an efficient committee, so these meetings don't last very long. But thank you for your help. Look forward to your service. Christy is a official, well, you're both official, but a full member, while Tom is a associate member. All that means is, Christy, you can vote. Tom, you can participate, but not vote. At least that's my understanding. Yeah.
Yes.
We can listen to your opinions and then we can
Discard them like
Yes,
this.
exactly.
So it'll be just like home.
Yes. First on the agenda, I'd like to approve the minutes from the January 20th and February 17th meetings. So if there are no issues or changes to those minutes, I'll accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Ken. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Next, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Next up, open positions. So we are now a full committee in terms of full members. Allison's friends, Bonnie Hartung and Christy Mack, have applied. Molly Bates from the town indicated that they're interviewing this week, so they should hopefully be with us next month, and then that completely fills our committee. So it's good to have a full committee, lots of hands. Next is new business, and first up under that is bands. So I've heard back from all 8 bands that we had last year. They would all like to return. The Slant 4 is now named Lava Bomb. I think they're playing the same music, just rebranding. So after this meeting, assuming the budget is approved, I'll submit the band list to the town so they can get contracts out to the bands. Next up is budget. So I emailed out, for those of you calling in, should be on your email.
You're welcome.
It's pretty straightforward budget. It's mostly entertainment. So for bands, we have Grab Brothers at $650, Cyclones at $600, Brewster Town Band at $600, Column Seal Pipes and Drums, everyone's favorite, at $2,000, Mark's Music at $400, Cape Cod Sax Quartet $800, Unusual Suspects $400, and Lava Bomb at $600. So our total available spend is $9,000. I wanted to give us a little wiggle room in case things come up. The second category here, other decorations and storage bins. Linda, you mentioned around 400. I think we need some new signs, so I budgeted around 400 for that. Chatham Valet, we've used the last few years for new folks. We've had some elderly judges in the past few years. My mother and Ty's mother being 2 of those judges, and I guess for a couple of reasons, thinking that maybe we change that up this year. I don't know their interest, but also, you know, they kind of need this golf cart that we get from Chatham Valet. It's $700. It's not a huge item, but out of, you know, our overall $9,000 budget, it'd be nice to deploy that elsewhere, either to another band or you know, we can figure that out. I'm keeping it in here, so if we're not able to get younger judges that can hop in a Jeep or a pickup, we can default back to that. So we'll keep that there for now, but if we're able to save that, even if it's not this year, we know we can you know, get another band possibly next year. And then threw in some miscellaneous, just, you know, for some room to not have to vote on miscellaneous expenses.
Okay.
So the total of other is $2,150. That plus the entertainment, $8,200. So any questions on the budget? Pretty straightforward.
One quick question.
Yeah.
Does the miscellaneous cover like candy and stuff? Do we have a different budget for that?
Yeah, well, so I think we're gonna strip out the, walkers, like handing out candy.
Okay.
And open for discussion, but, you know, I'm by no means making this decision. But my thought was, when we started that, actually it was, I think before I joined the committee, they started buying candy to have people handing out, candy. Not as many people, floats and vehicles were throwing candy. There was a period of time where that was, I guess, frowned upon. So it was, you know, we had volunteers walking and passing out candy to engage the crowd, and that was great. I think a lot of vehicles and floats now are throwing their own candy, so I think there's plenty of candy to go around, and we could, you know, chip a little bit off the budget and save some money there and spend it in other ways.
Okay,
Was my thought.
sounds good.
If anyone feels strongly pro candy, we can revisit that. We have room, so, but I thought doing something more fun, given the kids are being fed.
Okay.
So if there's no other questions, I'll accept the motion to approve the budget as presented.
Just real quick, Ben.
Yeah.
If Chatham Ballet doesn't come through, do you have a band waiting in the wings for that money, or or are you just presenting that conceptually?
Yeah, it's just exactly. So Chatham Ballet is there as a placeholder. I don't have, you know, I could open to suggestions if folks have them, but I don't have one saying, hey, we'd like to come play.
Okay.
But
We have a,
good question.
following up on that is, do we need any more bands or floats? I feel like
Yeah,
we grew pretty steadily over the last couple of years, so it's almost getting to the point where we don't have enough room to stage it all, right?
that's a good point on the staging. You know, in terms of need, I would always say the more the merrier, but staging is actually a really good point. There's that row where we stage the bands is along the field is, as I remember last year, pretty full. Maybe there's room to squeeze one in somewhere, but probably wouldn't want to go beyond one more.
There is the nice, this year, next year, there's, that conference isn't happening, so maybe there might be a little bit of extra space as a result of that, so maybe it's a little room, but.
Yeah. Yep.
And do we ever have sort of a high school band? You may not have to pay them, but just to get teens involved?
Yeah, so we do have the Unusual Suspects. They're on the list here. They are paid. They were thrilled to be paid. But yeah, they're high school kids.
Okay.
They may not be around next year. I don't know, but they're around this year.
Yeah,
I think some of them are seniors. I don't know.
yeah, I think some of them are, but doesn't
Um,
mean they wouldn't be back for summer.
right, but and good point. And maybe they're still playing, or if not, you know, we can work with the school or our contacts. You know, folks that have kids in the schools maybe know of a school band. You know, one thing. Jen, the previous chair, had always wanted to try to get a marching band, and there's just not a lot available around the Cape, but that would be a great ad and you know, wouldn't require a ton of
Marching band.
space for staging. You know, they could even kind of just stand on the field out of the parking lot. But so if anyone has any great contacts for marching bands, please let me know.
The Sound of the South, Chris, we could get South Carolina, that I think it's like 600 people. That might be a little much.
I think that's,
How about all your Lexington, aren't there like 15 different bands?
Yeah, I probably could find one pretty easily.
yeah, that's probably gonna be outside our budget, but if they wanna come for free, they're welcome to. so, good questions on the budget, thank you. If there are no other questions, I'll accept a motion to approve it as presented.
You have a second from me?
Right, motion to approve.
Thank you. Sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Passes unanimously. I've got a couple things under our other category. Parade theme, so we don't need this locked down tonight, but we do need to narrow it probably to 3 at the next meeting. So I'm gonna add it to Facebook, so typically we get a couple suggestions from Facebook, but just collectively, if you could brainstorm and maybe bring some thoughts to next meeting, we'll just, we'll go over those and kind of
Would have been the last couple themes, just to get a sense of how
Ooh,
tight the themes are.
you're testing my memory. I can look back to last year and I know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember last year.
yeah, last year we were, you're gonna need a bigger float. It was the Jaws 50th, so that was the play on that. I honestly don't remember previous
Was it red, white, and you?
Red, White, and You. That sounds,
I think that was one of them.
yep. I know, so as an FYI, I know Chatham selected theirs.
Oh, did they already?
Anchored in Freedom, Timeless Tides and Traditions.
Long.
It's too long.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Well,
250th there, right?
we're not
So,
recording it.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
something around 250, you know, so we've got time, even if we don't get it. Historically, we've gotten it, so for new members, we narrow to 3 or 4, if we can't narrow it down to 3, it doesn't really matter, but we narrow it to a handful of ideas. We send that to Orleans Elementary School, their librarian. Hillary, I think you've coordinated that in the past, is that right? Okay. So their librarian, I guess, hands out sheets to the kids and the kids vote. It's a nice engagement with the town and with the kids. And then one of them gets selected at random to ride in the parade. So another nice way to tie in the community, but so yeah, we want to guide them towards 3 ideas that we think are all suitable. If we only have 2, it doesn't matter, but giving them a choice is kind of a tradition of our own.
When does that happen? When do we have to give them that?
We don't have a hard, you know, fall dead date. I think historically we've already done it by this time, so if we can get it narrowed down to 3 by next meeting, then we can get it right out, and so that'll be, you know, late April to them. Still gives us plenty of time to give them, so then by May we'll know what our theme is. I think that's enough time. I don't have any history to know. You know, it'll go out, I guess, on Facebook and be updated on the website for registration so that people know when they're building floats and such what the theme is. But I think, you know, most of May and June is enough for people to wrap their heads around what they're gonna do for a float. So yeah, that really.
Is there like a timeline or something you have, so the newbies don't ask you 50 million questions on, when do we do this, when do we do that?
Yeah, great question. I can send it to you. I don't know how helpful it'll be because it's actually, the timeline from, it wasn't Jen Allard, the previous chair, it wasn't her timeline. It was the timeline that she inherited from the committee prior to us joining. So a lot has changed. I'm going to endeavor to update that timeline. So maybe I'll send it to you after that's done. It'll be more useful. keep having to ask Jen because there's things on the timeline that apparently aren't done anymore, and so it's not very helpful, just put it that way.
We were talking about having like a Google Doc or something so it could be a living, breathing thing.
Yes, it actually, it is a Google Doc, it's just not very living or breathing. So we need to resuscitate it.
Yeah, clear. Yeah.
Yep, but good thought. Next up, Grand Marshal. So we had some discussion on this a few meetings ago. Two thoughts were Town Council, Mike Ford, 40 years of service. Kevin Galligan, our Select Board liaison, who had a meeting conflict tonight, couldn't be here. Brought that one forward. Linda brought forward the people that were involved in the Memorial Park renovation. So those are two good suggestions, I think. If there are any others, obviously we can entertain those.
Well, you know what I actually thought of the other day? I just don't know, does this person have to be an Orleans resident?
I don't know.
Because I was thinking of Mr. Hollander Essig, who has been teaching Orleans Elementary for, he just had
Oh, well,
his
he's an employee.
50th year teaching music to elementary school kids. And he's taught like Orleans, Eastham, Wellfleet for all those years.
Wow. How do you spell that?
I'll send, it's long. I'll
Yeah.
text it to you. Anyway, just a suggestion. 'Cause
So-
I think a lot of people that are now parents, when we go to the meetings at all these multiple schools, they have been his students, and now they have their kids in the
Wow.
school system. and-
50 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
One request there, though, he schedules his band practice at 7 AM on Mondays.
Yes, we would like to skip the 7 AM on Monday.
Condition of approval.
Yeah, if we have to meet with them, we have to do it at some really obnoxious time.
Yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
brutal.
So we know which way you're voting.
Other than that, I think.
Yeah, that hasn't made him particularly popular, I will say.
So that's really interesting, and a great suggestion. I find it hard, and there are like three good ideas, and Linda, thank you for bringing two of them.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
My thought on, especially given this, was Memorial Park, we could maybe keep in our back pocket for next year, because it's not done. I mean,
True.
it's largely done, but it's
True.
not like finished. So we could really celebrate it next year. But choosing between 40 years of service and 50 years of service, two very deserving. I don't know if we've ever done this, but if we could have co-grand marshals, or is that like,
Oh, not fair to either? Or-
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
How do people feel about that?
Is the 40-year guy gonna retire anytime soon? Because we could also keep him in.
I can check with Kevin, yeah, so we can continue this discussion, this is another one that we don't need to decide tonight. I can check with Kevin, I think when he brought him forward as a suggestion, he was maybe like stepping back, so maybe kind of semi-retirement, but, good thought, what about,
Well, when he announced, we had a 50th anniversary, some sort of recognition for him, and I really thought he was gonna say he was retiring, but he's not.
Be here at 6 next week.
6 AM on Monday.
okay.
So, no, I haven't heard anything.
So no clear, indication from him, and, yeah, Mike Ford, I don't know, but I'll ask Kevin.
And is he well liked? 7 a.m. practice?
Other than the 7 AM Monday wake-up call, 6 something really for all
Oh,
parents.
are you referring to town council?
No,
I think
I was
the
gonna say,
band.
all things being equal, I
Oh, yeah.
love the idea of having someone the kids know and can get excited about, and maybe their parents also know and have him.
Yeah.
True.
But I just want to make sure he is.
And
well
actually,
liked.
looking at this lineup, right, it's a pretty music-centric
Mm-hmm.
parade
Yeah.
too, so.
All right, well,
Maybe the theme ends up around music too.
yeah. So we can either continue the discussion or I don't know.
Well,
It's sort of, the
we
room
can.
sort of feels leaning towards the elementary school teacher. And who knows, maybe he's either not interested or not available and then
Also true.
we have the second option.
Might
But
hate America, we don't know. He's demonstrated some poor judgment in the past.
Yep,
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth just making sure it's okay to have a non-organizing
Yes.
president.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, and I'm not sure that he,
Law, but
yeah, I'm not sure
we
that
also
he
don't
does
want like
it.
a bunch of people on Facebook having a cow or.
yeah, good.
Yes, good idea.
Good idea. So I'll check with Kevin, I'll just check with Kevin on both of those. And then we can pick up this discussion next meeting and hopefully have a decision then. Just to give them plenty of time to plan their fourth. I don't have too much more. I will have, nothing major, but maybe some assignments for committee members next meeting, some tasks. Linda, I think you already know about decorations and storage bins, but just some other needs, like, getting the signs made. I'm forgetting, but I'll think about it. And then just everyone, if you could start thinking about volunteer recruitment. That's always been an area where we need help. I think some of the people that have been on the committee previously that have termed out will be joining us. So that's good. We've got some other longtime volunteers. I think we had those, the church volunteers back last year. Do you remember, Ty or Linda? Ken, Hillary, do you remember?
Oh, I feel like they were.
Not in full force.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I don't even remember who they contacted. So we'll have to run down a contact. But the first year they came with like a dozen people, so just having bodies is good.
High school students eligible to volunteer?
Oh, yeah.
We usually end
Okay.
up recruiting quite a few. Olivia's out of high school, but I'm pretty sure that her friends that helped last year will help again.
Because don't they have to do a certain number of volunteer hours for a
Usually,
school?
yes, and actually that's a great idea, just reaching out to the honor society at the high school.
Is there like a key club or anything like that? That's a great way to just they're always looking for hours, although it's post.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they
what's
have
tricky
school
about it.
Yeah,
But I can reach out, Ben, if you like.
That would be great.
they could also post it at maybe Nauset High.
Yeah, they have an Instagram page, the Honor Society or the Honor whatever club.
Yeah, so good ideas there. Keep thinking, and it'll just make our parade day go smoother. More hands we have. Anything else from anyone else? Yeah. So for Tom and Christy, this is probably a long meeting for us. So just to set your expectations. We might run a little bit longer, for May and June, as we get closer, but typically this is about it. So next meeting is Tuesday, March 21st at 4:45 right here, or
April?
April, thank you. Is that even the right day?
Yes.
It is the 21st. Yep. Thank you. April 21st at 4:45 right here or on Zoom. Thank you all for joining. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Linda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ken. All in favor?
Hi.
Thank you all.